and welcome to all you Scorpios. Welcome for your monthly horoscope for August 2016. And let's have a look. There are three things that I'm going to be talking about. Since I've been doing these videos, I've always integrated fixed stars when they are really, really important. And again, there is a fixed star called Antares that is being very important now. Not only in August, but also in September, whilst the eclipses are going to be activating that star as well, or connecting with that fixed star. Mars and Saturn are there as well. So I'll be talking about that. Then I'm going to be talking about the Virgo energy, which is fantastic for you in your 11th house. And then last but not least, something about Anticyon. So let's get started with a bit the heavier energy, which is that Mars and Saturn in your second house. This is not new stuff because already around March, April, May, there was a bit the same energy going on. Mars went retrograde and now it's like Mars going again through Sagittarius, meeting up with Saturn on that fixed star Antares. And that fixed star is all about endings, basically. Yes, on a collective level, it has to do with, bigger things, but we're doing here individual horoscopes, so we have to hold our feet on the ground and we can only master what we can master with our own actions. And this is a lot with Saturn and Mars there on that fixed star Antares. Of course, endings are always new beginnings, but it's for sure that a lot of you Scorpios who have been struggling with the financial situation, because that's the second house, or struggling with confidence, because that's also the second house, or with your talents, which is again the second house, this energy at its best is applied when you work hard and when you continue and when you don't want to take a shortcut and when you focus, when you're not doing 10 things at the same time, when you are taking responsibility, when you are mastering Saturn, your mass, your actions, when you are being economical, clever. So all these things, you could say Saturn there in your second house is really like the bell doing a bit this. So being very economical, not, it's very simple. It sounds simple. Making sure that not more is going out than there is coming in. But really, the Saturn demands that from you. If your financial situation has been not the best, it means it's tough, but it can be fixed, because that's the positive side of Mars and Saturn. When they are together and they are focused energy, committing yourself towards this, taking responsibility, you can really make this work and you can really improve your financial situation, especially after September. So there's a lesson here, you could say, of, a lesson. It sounds like, there's a lesson here, but I don't want to sound like that. But there's an evolution here of maturing when it comes to your resources, of being very mature. And I think Scorpios will do well with that in general. Another thing could be your confidence. And of course, confidence, it's such a struggle. And you have to be very patient to build up your confidence. It's so easy to destroy it, but Scorpios are known of exuding a lot of confidence, and they are. But of course, like any other sign, they can get sometimes a bit less confident because of situations that happen, because of things happen in your life. And this is, again, a time where you can build that up. If it has gotten some, bruises there, your confidence, it can be a time that by doing it step by step, by taking little steps, by looking at you, taking responsibilities, taking care of you, mastering yourself. It's your ancient ruler, Mars, in that second house there. So it could be a lot about mastering yourself through what you eat, because that's a resource as well, the second house, through actually how you value things. So it's a lot about what do you value, not what other people do value, but what do you value? What do you think is important? And how are you going to work to get that. That's the mastering of Saturn. You know, it's like whenever I see Saturn, I think of martial arts. You know, that's the best way. It's like mastering, lots of energy instead of getting frustrated and irritated, which is the negative side of that Mars Saturn. Enough of that. That's your ruler, by the way. So there is a bit of you going through a transformation and an ending process whilst you're doing this. It can also be a more developing of your talents that you have. More seriousness about your own talents. That could be the case as well. Now, it's not all that serious, but you like serious stuff, don't you? You Scorpios, you're not afraid of going deep and going intense. But there is lightness going on as well. Light energy going on in your 11th house. The 11th house, a house of friends, the house of connections, social house. It's a house of your aspirations, the future. It's a very friendly house. And Jupiter has been there for a long time. But now Venus enters, Mercury enters, and the Sun as well. So lots of planets, positive planets, are going to get into that particular house. So it could be falling in love with a friend. That is very meaningful because Jupiter is there as well. It could be having a very social time around August, especially the last week. Do something with friends the last week of August, because Venus and Jupiter are going to conjunct, and it's not confused by Saturn nor Neptune. So that last week of August is really for you if you want to let your hair down, you want to have a party time. Of course, it's in Virgo. It's humble, but it's a good time for you Scorpios to hang out with your friends and do some nice things. Now, when it comes to relationships, if you maybe there is a friend that could mean a little bit more, but there can be some confusion and some insecurity. Why? Because still, up until September, the end of September, there is this square between Saturn and Neptune. And what is that all about? This is all about insecurity. This is about 1 week you think you've got it all, and you think, yeah, I have hope, and everything is going to work out. And then the next week you think, how on earth am I going to do this? So that's the energy of Saturn, Neptune. It's still, and especially whilst those planets are entering Virgo, they all are going to bump into Neptune and Saturn. So that could make you a bit insecure, but I wouldn't mind that too much. Why? Because if you're having doubts about a friend or feeling at the same time very wow and at the other time very a bit scared, for instance, it's really normal, and you're gonna have eclipses there anyway next month, so things will clear up for sure. But just enjoy and go with the flow, have the hope, which is Neptune, but also be very real with your friends, which is Saturn. So if you're doing that, you're doing the best that you can. Now, last but not least, there's something about Anticyon that is happening for you, and that is Anticyon, the Anticyon sign of Virgo, and there's a lot of planets entering that sign, is Aries. And Anticyon means that those signs have affinity with each other. But it's under the surface. You understand that very well, don't you, you Scorpios? It's under the surface, so it's not really so into the face. So whenever planets enter Virgo, which is going to be a lot during this month, they activate planets in Aries. And who's there? Uranus is there. So how do you do that? How can you find that out? A little bit of explanation here. Every sign has 30 degrees. Now, if you enter a sign like Virgo, like 1 degree, for instance, it means that its Anticyon point is 30 degrees minus 1, which is 29. 29 degrees of Aries, and so on and so on. So while all these planets are going to pass through Virgo in your 11th house, and they're going to pass like 7 degrees approximately, that means that they're connecting in secret with Uranus at 23 degrees, because Uranus is there at the moment. And where is Uranus? In your 6th house of work. So you could be meeting someone at work. So I'm not saying a negative way, under the surface, starting an affair or something, no. But under the surface, you kind of, and you Scorpios are used to that. You kind of know your gut feeling. Yeah, there's something going on here. You cannot point it out with facts, but you feel that something going on there. So, and Uranus in the 6th house, Uranus is really a planet of liberating, freshness, excitement. So it is really positive, that energy. So, and for others, it can mean simply new work coming your way, a new job coming your way. And but it's all really a bit hidden for the moment, but it will, you know, at the end of the month and especially next month, it will show itself. And so it's whatever that has to do with your health, because that's also 6th house. Work, it adds a bit of a freshness when it comes to your aspirations for the future. And that's a very positive thing that I wanted to end with. So thank you so much for watching this little video. I hope, I hope you're doing well, and you're doing well for August as well. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.